A call to change. In the small town of Oakbrook, nestled in the heart of America, Officer John Harris was a well-known figure, a steadfast protector in a community that felt more like family than mere neighbors. For nearly 2 decades, his patrol car had rolled through the streets, a familiar sight as he kept watch over the town. John, with his salt and pepper hair and weathered face, had earned the respect of the residents. There was a sadness in his eyes that belied his friendly demeanor. The loss of his wife, Sarah, a decade earlier, had cast a long shadow over his life, one that he had been unable to escape. Every morning he started his day with a quiet ritual at the local diner, sipping black coffee while reading the newspaper, the stillness of the early hours offering a brief respite from his grief. It was during one of these mornings, with the sun barely rising and casting golden light through the diner's windows, that the call came in. It was a crisp autumn day, the leaves painted with hues of orange and red, and he could smell the familiar scent of cinnamon and apples from the bakery section. Just as he was contemplating whether to order a slice of pie, the radio crackled to life. Unit 12, we have a situation at 1456 Elm Street. Possible abandonment case involving multiple minors. Proceed with caution. The dispatcher's voice was tense, and John felt his heart race. The thought of vulnerable children tugged at something deep within him, a call to action that stirred emotions he thought he had buried long ago. He threw a few bills on the table, nodded to the waitress, and rushed out to his cruiser, determined to respond to the call. As he drove toward Elm Street, memories of his wife flooded his mind. Sarah had always wanted a big family, filled with laughter and love. They had talked about adopting, opening her home to children who needed care and guidance. But life had taken an unexpected turn, leaving John to navigate the world alone, his dreams of family slipping further away with each passing year. The scene on Elm Street was chaotic. A small crowd had gathered outside an old, dilapidated house, their faces filled with concern. John parked his cruiser and stepped out, the cool air biting at his skin. A woman in her 30s approached him, tears streaming down her face. "Officer, please help. There are children inside, 2 little girls and a baby. I saw them through the window. They're all alone." Her voice trembled, desperation spilling over. "Okay, ma'am, take a deep breath. Can you tell me more about the situation?" John kept his voice calm, feeling the weight of responsibility settle heavily on his shoulders. He had seen too many families torn apart, and the thought of innocent children suffering ignited a fire within him. The woman explained that she had noticed the children alone several times in the last week, their cries echoing through the walls. The house appeared abandoned, and she feared for their safety. John's heart sank as he listened. He couldn't shake the feeling that this was the moment he had been waiting for, a chance to fulfill the dreams he had once shared with Sarah. "Let's get inside and check on them," he said, nodding to a fellow officer who had arrived to assist. Together, they approached the door, which creaked ominously as they pushed it open. Inside, the air was stale and the darkness enveloped them. John's eyes adjusted to the dim light, and his heart ached at the sight of the children huddled together in a corner of the room. The 2 little girls, no older than 6 and 8, clung to each other, their wide eyes filled with fear. The baby, wrapped in a threadbare blanket, was sleeping soundly on a tattered couch. "It's okay, sweethearts. We're here to help you," John said softly, kneeling to their level. The girls stared at him, their fear slowly replaced by curiosity. He could feel their apprehension, the uncertainty that came with being abandoned and alone. One of the girls, the older one, whispered, "Are you a bad man?" Her voice was barely above a whisper, and John's heart shattered at her question. "No, I'm not a bad man. I'm a police officer. My name is Officer Harris, and I want to make sure you're safe." He spoke gently, trying to reassure them. The younger girl peered out from behind her sister, her wide eyes glistening with tears. As he carefully approached them, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was a pivotal moment, a chance for him to make a difference not just for these girls, but for himself. The emptiness he had carried for so long began to feel a little less heavy. The girls needed someone, and perhaps, in turn, he needed them as well. "Let's get you out of here," John said, taking their small hands in his. "We're going to find you a warm place to stay." As they walked outside, he felt a surge of determination. The girls were taken into protective custody, but he couldn't bear the thought of them being placed in a group home away from the only comfort they had known. He knew he had to take a step further, and he didn't know what that meant yet, but he was willing to find out. That night, as he lay in bed, John replayed the day's events in his mind. He couldn't stop thinking about the girls, their faces etched in his memory. He recalled their laughter, the way they had clung to each other in fear, and how their presence filled a void he had thought was unfillable. It was in that moment of reflection that the idea began to take shape, a decision that would forever change his life. The following days were a whirlwind. John attended meetings with social services, making inquiries about the girls' future. He learned their names: Kendra, the 8-year-old, and little Maya, the 6-year-old, and their baby sister, Ava. They had been living in neglect for too long, and the system was overwhelmed. After weeks of paperwork and interviews, John found himself in front of a judge, his heart pounding as he made the case to adopt the 3 girls. His voice was steady, yet he felt vulnerable as he spoke about the love and care he could provide. The judge listened intently, and when John finished, a silence hung in the air, thick with anticipation. "I commend you for your courage, Officer Harris," the judge said. "It's not common for a man to step forward in this capacity, especially after the loss you've endured. But you have made a compelling case." John held his breath, waiting for the verdict. "Considering the circumstances, I am inclined to approve your request. However, you must understand that this is a significant responsibility. You will be their guardian, their protector, and their father. Are you prepared for this?" "Yes, Your Honor. I've never wanted anything more," John replied, his voice unwavering. As the gavel struck, sealing the fate of the girls and their new father, tears of joy streamed down John's face. He couldn't believe it. He had finally been given a chance to create the family he had always wanted. The journey ahead would be filled with challenges, but John felt a renewed sense of purpose. In the months that followed, John's life transformed in ways he had never anticipated. He poured his heart into raising Kendra, Maya, and Ava, navigating the challenges of fatherhood with a sense of determination and love. He learned how to braid hair, cook meals, and help with homework. The once lonely house was filled with laughter and chaos, the walls echoing with the sounds of a family coming to life. The girls, with their unique personalities, brought joy into his world. Kendra, the eldest, was fiercely protective and often took on the role of a little mother to her sisters. Maya was full of energy and laughter, her playful spirit lighting up every room. Baby Ava, who had just begun to crawl, was the source of endless amusement as the sisters worked together to teach her the basics of being a little girl. John often reflected on how his decision to adopt these girls had not only changed their lives, but had also breathed new life into his own. He had found a family where he once felt a deep void. The bond they shared grew stronger each day, built on love, resilience, and gratitude. However, the struggles were real. John faced the challenges of being a single father in a small town, often dealing with the judgments of others. Some people whispered behind his back, questioning his motives and his ability to care for 3 young girls on his own. But John was unfazed. He was determined to prove that love and dedication could overcome any obstacle. It was during one of their first family outings to the local park that the reality of their situation began to sink in. As they played on the swings, John noticed a group of mothers watching from a distance, their faces a mix of curiosity and skepticism. He felt the weight of their gazes and turned to Kendra and Maya, who were giggling as they chased Ava around the grassy area. "Let's show them how much fun we can have," John said with a grin, determined to change their perceptions. He joined his daughters on the swings, pumping his legs to fly higher, and soon they were all laughing uncontrollably. In that moment, he realized that he was no longer just Officer Harris, he was Dad, and the love he felt for these girls was immeasurable. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the park, John looked at his daughters and knew that no matter the challenges ahead, they would face them together. He had found his purpose, building a family. The transition from being a dedicated police officer to a full-time father was nothing short of transformative for John Harris. As the months rolled into years, he and his daughters settled into a rhythm that was both chaotic and heartwarming. Their home, once a silent shell of memories, burst with the sounds of laughter, arguments over toys, and the chaos of everyday life. Each day presented its own challenges and triumphs, and John embraced every moment. Every morning began with a familiar routine. The smell of pancakes wafting through the house as John flipped them on the griddle, the girls' excited chatter filling the kitchen. Kendra, with her keen sense of responsibility, helped her father by setting the table, while Maya, ever the jokester, made funny faces to get her sisters giggling. Baby Ava, now a toddler with a newfound sense of independence, would crawl around, pulling at their legs as she eagerly awaited her breakfast. "Good morning, girls. Who's ready for another adventure today?" John would announce cheerfully, ruffling Kendra's hair and playfully dodging Ava's attempts to grab his attention. As the sun broke through the windows, illuminating their small kitchen, John felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He had waited long enough to be a father, and now he was living his dream even amidst the challenges. His daughters were his motivation, pushing him to be the best father he could be. Despite the joys of parenthood, life as a single father had its fair share of difficulties. John quickly learned that raising 3 girls required patience, understanding, and a lot of creativity. Every evening was a new puzzle to solve. From homework help to bedtime routines, he juggled responsibilities while trying to ensure that each girl felt loved and valued. One particular evening stood out in John's memory. It was a cold winter night and the snow was falling gently outside, transforming Oakbrook into a winter wonderland. The girls had been cooped up inside for days due to the bitter chill, and their energy levels had reached a fever pitch. "Dad, can we make a snowman?" Kendra pleaded, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Please, please, please. Maya chimed in, bouncing on her toes, her curly hair bouncing with her every move. John chuckled, glancing out the window at the thick blanket of snow covering the yard. All right, how about we bundle up and have some fun outside? But first, let's get some hot cocoa ready. With the promise of warm drinks after their snow adventure, the girls rushed to find their winter gear. John smiled as he watched them scramble, feeling grateful for the little moments that made life special. Once they were bundled up like little marshmallows, they dashed outside, their laughter echoing through the crisp air. John watched as they flopped into the snow, making angels and squealing with joy. The sight filled him with warmth. Their happiness was infectious. Okay, let's build that snowman, John called out, joining them in the snow-covered yard. Working together, they rolled the snow into giant balls, stacking them precariously atop one another. Kendra took charge, directing everyone with a newfound authority. Maya, you get the head. Ava, you find some sticks for the arms. Dad, you can be in charge of the nose. John chuckled, enjoying the playful banter that flowed between his daughters. As they crafted their snowman, he felt a sense of normalcy settle around them, a comforting embrace that reminded him of the family he had always wanted. Once their creation stood proudly in the front yard, adorned with a carrot nose and a scarf that John had found in the closet, the girls stood back to admire their work. He's perfect, Maya declared, her face flushed with excitement. That's our snowman, and we made him together, Kendra added, her eyes shining with pride. Let's take a picture, John suggested, pulling out his phone. The girls scrambled to huddle around their snowy masterpiece, beaming with joy as John snapped the photo. In that moment, John realized that despite the difficulties of raising a family alone, he was exactly where he was meant to be. As the seasons changed, so did the dynamics in the Harris household. Kendra was blossoming into a responsible young girl, often helping John with Ava, while Maya remained the playful spirit, forever seeking adventures. Each day brought new challenges, but John's dedication to creating a nurturing environment for his daughters was unwavering. However, not everything was perfect. John struggled to navigate the complexities of raising children who had experienced trauma and neglect. While he had a deep love for his daughters, he sometimes felt overwhelmed by the responsibility of being their sole provider and protector. The memories of their difficult past lingered, manifesting in moments of insecurity and fear. One evening, John noticed that Kendra had been unusually quiet. After putting Ava to bed, he found her sitting on the living room floor, doodling in her sketchbook. He approached her, gently sitting beside her. "What's on your mind, Kendra?" Kendra looked up, her eyes downcast. "I miss my mom," she whispered, the weight of her words heavy in the air. John's heart ached at her admission. He had known that the girls carried their past with them, but hearing Kendra voice her feelings made it all the more real. "I know, sweetheart. It's okay to miss her. You loved her very much." Kendra nodded but remained silent, her fingers tracing the edge of her drawings. "Do you want to talk about it?" John asked gently, not wanting to push her but eager to offer her a safe space to express her feelings. "I don't remember much, but sometimes I feel scared that I'm going to lose you too," Kendra admitted, her voice trembling. The vulnerability in her words struck John like a lightning bolt. He wrapped his arms around her, pulling her close. "Kendra, I promise I'm not going anywhere. You and your sisters mean the world to me, and I will always be here to protect you." Kendra buried her face in his shoulder, and John could feel the warmth of her tears on his shirt. In that moment, he understood the gravity of their journey together. Healing wouldn't happen overnight, but he was committed to helping them navigate their emotions, providing the love and stability they desperately needed. Days turned into weeks, and as winter melted into spring, John found new ways to connect with his daughters. He enrolled them in community activities, determined to help them build friendships and trust. He also reached out to local support groups seeking guidance for single fathers raising children from troubled backgrounds. Through these connections, he learned about the importance of open communication and fostering a safe space for emotional expression. He implemented family meetings where they could share their thoughts, feelings, and ideas. At one of their first meetings, John encouraged the girls to share their thoughts on how they could support each other. Kendra suggested they create a feelings jar where they could write down their emotions, both positive and negative, and share them during their meetings. Maya eagerly agreed, and they all pitched in to decorate an old jar with paint and glitter. "This will help us talk about how we feel, right?" Maya asked, her eyes gleaming with enthusiasm. "Exactly," John replied, proud of their initiative. "And remember, no feelings are wrong. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or happy. We're here to support each other." As the weeks went by, the feelings jar became a source of comfort and healing. Each family meeting turned into a heartfelt conversation, allowing John to understand his daughters better. Kendra began to articulate her worries and dreams, while Maya expressed her endless curiosity about the world. Ava, though still too young to fully grasp the concept, delighted in the family bonding, her laughter filling the room. One day, as they sat together around the dining table, John noticed Kendra writing something in her journal. "What are you working on?" he asked, leaning over to see. "I'm writing a letter," she said shyly. "Who's it for?" John inquired, intrigued. "It's for my mom. I wanted to tell her about everything that's happened since we moved in with you," Kendra replied, her voice steady despite the vulnerability of her words. "Can I read it?" John asked gently. Kendra hesitated but then nodded, handing him the notebook. As he read, tears filled John's eyes. Kendra poured her heart out, describing their new life, the love she felt from him, and her hopes for the future. "Dear Mom," it began, "I miss you every day. Dad Harris is nice, and he makes the best pancakes. I wish you could see how much fun we have. I hope you're happy wherever you are." John closed the notebook, feeling a mix of pride and heartache. "That was beautiful, Kendra. I'm sure your mom would be so proud of you." Kendra smiled, wiping a tear from her eye. "I just want her to know that I'm okay, and that I love her." "Writing is a great way to express your feelings," John encouraged. "Maybe we can write letters together every month, sharing our thoughts and what's happening in our lives. Would you like that?" Kendra nodded enthusiastically, her eyes lighting up at the idea. Yes, that would be fun. With each passing day, the bond between John and his daughters grew stronger. They learned to navigate the challenges of their past, embracing their new family dynamic. John's commitment to providing a stable, loving environment never wavered. He found joy in the little things like trials and triumphs. As the months passed, the seasons in Oakbrook continued to change, bringing new challenges and opportunities for growth. The warmth of summer ushered in long days filled with outdoor adventures, laughter, and heartfelt connections. John often took the girls to the local park, where they would picnic, play games, and enjoy each other's company. These moments became cherished memories that helped solidify the foundation of their family. However, alongside the joy came difficulties that John had to navigate as a single father raising 3 daughters. He often found himself caught between wanting to protect them from the harsh realities of life and preparing them for the world outside. The shadows of their past still lingered, reminding him that healing was not linear and progress came with setbacks. One such setback occurred when Kendra, now entering her teenage years, began experiencing the tumultuous emotions that often accompany adolescence. It became apparent that she was struggling with self-esteem issues, often comparing herself to her peers and feeling inadequate. The spark that had once radiated from her was dimming, and John noticed her withdrawn from activities she had once enjoyed. One evening, as they sat together watching a movie, John turned to Kendra, who sat quietly, her face illuminated by the flickering screen. "Hey, Kendra, is everything okay? You seem a bit distant lately." She shrugged, her eyes not meeting his. "I'm fine, Dad." John felt a knot of concern tighten in his stomach. "You know you can talk to me about anything, right? I'm here for you." After a long silence, Kendra finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "Sometimes I feel like I don't fit in. I'm different from the other girls at school." John's heart sank. "Different how?" He gently prodded, trying to create a safe space for her to express herself. "Like, I don't look like them. They have long hair and pretty clothes. I just feel, I don't know, ugly," Kendra confessed, tears welling in her eyes. "Kendra, you are beautiful just the way you are. I want you to know that beauty isn't just about how you look on the outside. It's about who you are on the inside, your kindness, your intelligence, your creativity. You're unique, and that's what makes you special," John said, his voice earnest. Kendra wiped her tears away with the back of her hand. "But sometimes it feels like nobody sees that. Let's make a plan," John suggested, feeling the weight of the conversation. "What if we spend some time together doing things that make you feel good about yourself? We can find new activities you enjoy, something that allows you to express yourself." Kendra looked up, intrigued. "Like what?" "Maybe we can explore art classes, or you could join the school's theater club. You've always loved to perform," John encouraged. Kendra thought for a moment, a small spark igniting in her eyes. "I used to love drawing and painting. I could try an art class." "Absolutely. Let's look for some options tomorrow," John said, feeling hopeful. With renewed energy, they set out to find an art class that would allow Kendra to express her creativity. They visited a local art studio that offered classes for all ages. Kendra hesitated at first, her insecurities creeping back in, but John's unwavering support encouraged her to take the leap. As Kendra began attending her classes, John noticed a shift in her demeanor. Each week, she would come home buzzing with excitement, sharing the new techniques she had learned and showing him her latest projects. The joy that had once been overshadowed by self-doubt began to reemerge. One weekend, Kendra decided to host a small art show in their backyard, inviting her sisters to view her work. She hung her paintings on makeshift clotheslines, creating a vibrant gallery filled with her colorful creations. Come see," Kendra shouted, her excitement infectious as she welcomed Maya and Ava. John stood to the side, watching with pride as Kendra explained each piece, her confidence shining through. The once timid girl now stood tall, her passion evident in every brushstroke. "Wow, Kendra, this is amazing," Maya exclaimed, her eyes wide with admiration. "I love this one. It's so colorful." Ava, though still too young to fully understand, clapped her hands and giggled, eager to join in the celebration. As they walked through the gallery, John felt a surge of gratitude. Kendra had found her voice, and it was beautiful to witness her transformation. That evening, as they sat together under the stars, John smiled at Kendra, knowing how far she had come. "You did an incredible job today. I'm so proud of you," he told her, his voice warm with affection. "Thanks, Dad. It felt good to share my art. I think I want to keep doing it," Kendra replied, her face glowing with happiness. While Kendra blossomed in her artistic pursuits, Maya's adventures continued to take unexpected turns. The young girl had always been the jokester, and her playful nature led her to explore various activities around town. One day, she came home from school bubbling with excitement about a new club she had joined, the Environmental Club. "Dad, I'm going to be part of a team that helps clean up the park and plant trees. We're going to make our town beautiful," Maya exclaimed, her eyes shining brightly. John's heart swelled with pride. "That sounds fantastic, Maya. What's your first project?" "We're going to plant flowers at the community garden this weekend." "Can you help us?" she asked, her enthusiasm contagious. "Of course. I'd love to help. We can make a family day out of it," John replied, feeling grateful for the opportunity to bond with his daughters through community service. On the day of the project, they arrived at the park early in the morning, ready to lend a hand. John joined a group of enthusiastic volunteers, while Maya ran around with her friends, gathering supplies. Kendra had come along too, armed with her sketchbook, ready to capture the day's activities. As they planted flowers, John marveled at Maya's dedication and enthusiasm. "You're doing a great job, Maya. I'm so proud of how much you care about our community." Maya beamed, her cheeks flushed with happiness. "I just want everyone to enjoy the park. It's so pretty when it's full of flowers." As the day wore on, they all shared laughs, sweat, and camaraderie with fellow community members. Kendra found joy in sketching the vibrant blooms and capturing the moments of laughter shared among volunteers. The girl's sense of purpose was palpable, and John couldn't have been prouder. However, as summer faded into fall, John faced an unforeseen challenge. His health, which had remained steady for years, began to decline unexpectedly. At first, he brushed it off as fatigue from his demanding job, but as the weeks passed, he started experiencing persistent aches and breathlessness. Concerned for his well-being, John finally scheduled a doctor's appointment. The diagnosis left him reeling, a heart condition that required immediate attention. The doctor emphasized the importance of lifestyle changes, medication, and regular follow-ups. When John broke the news to the girls that evening, he chose his words carefully, trying to protect them from fear. "I went to the doctor today, and it turns out my heart needs a little extra care. I'll be starting some medication, but I want you to know I'm going to be okay." Kendra's face fell, and she instinctively reached for Ava, who was blissfully unaware of the weight of the situation. "Are you going to be sick, Dad?" she asked, her voice trembling. "No, not sick. Just a little tired sometimes," John reassured her, putting on a brave face. "But I need your help to take care of myself, okay?" Maya looked worried. "What can we do?" "Let's focus on making healthy meals together, and you can help remind me to take my medicine," John suggested, trying to inject a sense of teamwork into the conversation. As the girls absorbed the news, Kendra broke the silence. "We're here for you, Dad. You take care of us, and now it's our turn to take care of you." Over the next few months, John focused on his health, embracing the support and love from his daughters. They turned their home into a hub of healthy living, experimenting with new recipes and exercising together. John discovered that being vulnerable with his daughters deepened their bond, allowing them to step into roles they had never imagined. Kendra took the lead in the kitchen, whipping up nutritious meals, while Maya created a fun exercise routine that involved dance-offs in the living room. Even Ava joined in, clumsily attempting to imitate her sisters, which brought bursts of laughter that filled the air. As they navigated this new chapter, John realized that vulnerability was not a sign of weakness. It was a testament to their strength as a family. Together, they formed an unbreakable support system, and as each day passed, John felt more hopeful about his future. One crisp autumn afternoon, while they were taking a walk through their neighborhood, Kendra surprised John with a simple gesture that spoke volumes. She reached for his hand and squeezed it tightly. "I'm really proud of you, Dad. You're brave for taking care of yourself." "Thanks, sweetheart. I'm proud of you, too. You're growing into an incredible young woman," John replied, feeling the warmth of her support. As they walked hand in hand, John couldn't help but think. A time for healing. As the days turned into weeks, the chill of winter settled over Oakbrook. Snow blanketed the town, transforming it into a picturesque wonderland. The holidays were approaching, a time that had always held a special significance for John and his family. In the past, it had been a season of joy and celebration, but with his recent health challenges, John felt a heaviness in his heart. This year, he wanted to create a Christmas that would not only uplift his spirits, but also allow the girls to bond as a family and reflect on their journey together. Kendra, Maya, and Ava sensed the change in the air and rallied around their father, determined to make this holiday memorable despite the circumstances. They started by decorating their home, transforming it into a warm, inviting space filled with twinkling lights and handmade ornaments. "Let's make it cozy," Maya suggested as she hung garlands made from painted cones and dried fruit around the living room. Kendra brought out their box of decorations, a collection of handmade crafts from previous years, and set to work hanging them on the tree. Ava, eager to contribute, dashed around with a handful of colorful ornaments, trying to place them on the lower branches, her small hands fumbling as she tried to reach the highest spots. "Hey, let me help you with that," Kendra laughed, picking Ava up and helping her hang her favorite sparkly star on top of the tree. As they stepped back to admire their handiwork, John felt a sense of warmth wash over him. The laughter of his daughters echoed through the house, drowning out his worries, if only for a moment. "We should do something special for Christmas this year," Kendra suggested, her creative spirit shining through. "What about a Christmas card that tells our story? We can include what we're grateful for and share it with our friends." John's heart swelled with pride. "That's a wonderful idea. Why don't we write down our favorite memories together?" And so a new family tradition was born. Each evening after dinner, they gathered around the dining table, armed with colorful pens and sheets of paper. They took turns sharing their favorite moments from the past year, creating a beautiful tapestry of their lives woven with love, resilience, and gratitude. "Remember when we planted flowers at the park?" Maya exclaimed, her eyes lighting up at the memory. "And when I started art class? I'm really proud of my paintings," Kendra added, flipping through her sketchbook filled with vibrant artwork. Ava, though younger, eagerly chimed in with her own recollections, her innocent joy reminding them all of the beauty in simple moments. As they crafted their cards, John couldn't help but reflect on how far they had all come. Each story represented a piece of their journey, a testament to their strength and commitment to one another. On Christmas Eve, the house was alive with the spirit of the season. The aroma of freshly baked cookies filled the air as John and the girls gathered in the kitchen. John had taken it upon himself to bake their family's favorite holiday treats, a tradition passed down from his own childhood. "Let's make a gingerbread house," Ava exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Great idea. We'll need lots of candy for decorations," Kendra replied, already rummaging through the pantry for sprinkles and icing. As they crafted their gingerbread masterpiece, laughter and playful banter filled the room. John watched as his daughters worked together, their creative energies blending into a beautiful display of teamwork. The joy on their faces reminded him of the importance of these moments, especially during a time when life felt uncertain. As the night wore on, they gathered around the fireplace, mugs of hot cocoa in hand, and shared stories about their past Christmases. John reminisced about his childhood, the magic of waking up on Christmas morning, and how his parents made each holiday special. "I want us to have those kinds of memories too," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. "These moments are what life is all about." With their hearts full and spirits lifted, they decided to take a family photo to capture the joy of the evening. They set up the camera and huddled together in front of the fireplace, arms around each other, beaming smiles as the camera clicked. Christmas morning arrived, and the girls were up before the sun, brimming with excitement. John watched from the couch as they raced to the tree, their laughter echoing through the house. The gifts were wrapped beautifully, each adorned with colorful bows, a testament to the love they had poured into their preparations. As the girls tore into their presents, their joy was contagious. Kendra unwrapped a set of high-quality art supplies, while Maya received a book about environmental activism, her passion shining brightly. Ava giggled as she unveiled a doll dressed as a fairy, her eyes wide with wonder. John smiled, feeling grateful for the happiness radiating from his daughters. He had never thought he would be blessed with such joy after everything they had been through. Yet, in that moment, he realized that love had the power to heal wounds and create new beginnings. After the excitement of gift-giving, they gathered around the breakfast table, sharing a meal filled with warmth and laughter. John felt a deep sense of contentment as they exchanged stories, reflecting on their journey as a family. "Dad, I'm really glad we made our cards this year," Kendra said, her voice filled with sincerity. "It made me realize how strong we are together. No matter what happens, we have each other." "Exactly," John replied, his heart swelling with pride. "You girls are my greatest gifts. We've faced so much together, and it's made us stronger." As winter transitioned into spring, John's health continued to improve, thanks in part to the unwavering support of his daughters. They had embraced their roles as caregivers, each finding unique ways to help their father. Kendra focused on preparing nutritious meals, while Maya researched heart-healthy recipes and exercise routines. Ava, with her innocent charm, would often snuggle next to John on the couch, sharing her warmth and love. One sunny afternoon, John decided to take the girls on a surprise outing to celebrate his improving health. He wanted to show them how much their support meant to him and to experience a day filled with laughter and joy. "Girls, pack your bags. We're going on an adventure," John announced, his excitement palpable. "Where are we going, Dad?" Maya asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. "It's a surprise. Just trust me," John replied with a grin, feeling a sense of anticipation. They loaded up the car and set off towards the nearby lake, a beautiful spot surrounded by nature. As they arrived, the sight of the sparkling water and vibrant greenery took their breath away. "Wow, Dad, this place is amazing," Kendra exclaimed, her eyes glistening with excitement. John parked the car and led them to a picnic area overlooking the water. He had prepared a spread of their favorite snacks and sandwiches, complete with a dessert of freshly baked cookies. They spread out the picnic blanket and settled down, basking in the warmth of the sun and the serenity of nature. As they enjoyed their meal, John encouraged them to share their dreams and aspirations. "What do you want to achieve this year?" he asked, his voice warm and encouraging. Kendra took a deep breath, her gaze focused on the water. "I want to hold an art exhibit and show my paintings. I want people to see my work and feel inspired." Maya nodded enthusiastically. "And I want to organize a community cleanup event to raise awareness about taking care of our environment." Ava, though still young, chimed in with her simple but heartfelt dream. "I want to be a fairy princess." John chuckled, his heart full. "You all have such wonderful dreams. I believe in each of you, and I'll support you every step of the way." As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the lake, they gathered around to share stories and reflect on their journey. Kendra pulled out her sketchbook, flipping through pages filled with vibrant illustrations of their adventures, each drawing a snapshot of their lives together. "Look at this one," Kendra said, showing them a drawing of their picnic at the park. "This captures the day perfectly." Eva pointed at a drawing of their gingerbread house, her eyes shining. "I love that one. Can we make another house next year?" John felt a wave of emotion wash over him. These simple moments, filled with laughter, love, and creativity, were what he cherished most. As they packed up their picnic and prepared to head home, John took a moment to reflect on how much they had overcome as a family. Their bond had been forged in the fires of adversity, and together they had emerged stronger, united by love and shared experiences. "Thank you for today, girls. You have no idea how much this means to me," John said, his voice filled with gratitude. "Thank you for being the best dad ever," Kendra replied, pulling him into a tight embrace. "We love you, Dad." Maya and Ava chimed in, wrapping their arms around him. As spring blossomed into summer, the girls continued to pursue their passions while John focused on maintaining his health. Kendra took steps toward her art exhibit, spending weekends refining her work and reaching out to local galleries for opportunities. Maya organized community cleanup events, rallying friends and family to join her efforts in making Oakbrook a cleaner, greener place. Ava, ever the bundle of energy, created her own mini projects, organizing playdates and crafting sessions with her friends. She would often create beautiful artwork inspired by her sister's passions, showcasing the ripple effect of love. As summer progressed, the small town of Oakbrook blossomed with life, a vibrant testament to the resilience of its community. John Harris watched with pride as his daughters thrived, each pursuing their passions while balancing the responsibilities of family. The challenges they had faced only strengthened their bond, and they were a family forged in love and unity. Kendra's art exhibit was finally coming to fruition. After weeks of hard work, she had secured a space at a local gallery, where she would showcase her artwork for the first time. Excitement and nervousness buzzed in the air as the day of the exhibit approached. She poured her heart into each piece, blending vibrant colors and emotive themes that reflected her journey. "Dad, can you come with me to the gallery to set up?" Kendra asked one afternoon, her eyes wide with anticipation. "I could really use your support." "Of course, sweetheart. I wouldn't miss it for the world," John replied, his heart swelling with pride. He had watched Kendra transform into a talented artist, and he wanted to be there every step of the way. As they arrived at the gallery, John was struck by the beauty of the space. The walls were adorned with paintings from various local artists, each telling a unique story. Kendra carefully arranged her pieces, explaining the inspiration behind each one. "This one represents the challenges we face as a family," Kendra said, gesturing to a painting of a tree with deep roots, symbolizing strength and support. "And this one captures the beauty of hope." John listened intently, mesmerized by her passion and insight. He saw how much this moment meant to her, and he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was not just a father. He was a proud supporter of his daughter's dreams. On the night of the exhibit, the gallery buzzed with energy as friends, family, and community members gathered to celebrate the talent within their midst. The air was filled with laughter and conversation, and John found himself surrounded by familiar faces. "John, it's great to see you. Kendra's artwork is stunning," Mrs. Thompson, his neighbor, exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with admiration. "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. I'm proud of her," John replied, a smile spreading across his face. As the evening progressed, Kendra's artwork drew attention, with many attendees stopping to admire her pieces and engage in conversation. The support she received was overwhelming, and John couldn't help but feel a swell of pride as he watched her interact with guests. "Maya, can you believe how many people are here?" Kendra said, her voice tinged with excitement. "This is incredible." "I knew you'd do it. You've worked so hard," Maya replied, her enthusiasm contagious. As the night wore on, John felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. The love and support that surrounded them reminded him of how far they had come as a family. In the midst of his struggles, he had found strength in his daughters, who had blossomed into remarkable individuals. "Dad, would you say a few words?" Kendra asked, her eyes pleading. "I want everyone to know how much your support means to me." John hesitated for a moment, feeling the weight of the spotlight. But as he looked at Kendra, surrounded by her artwork, he knew he had to share his pride. "Of course, sweetheart," he replied, taking a deep breath. The following weeks brought changes to John's health, which he navigated with the unwavering support of his daughters. They rallied around him, encouraging him to take care of himself while still pursuing their dreams. Kendra continued to make strides in her art career, gaining recognition for her work. She was invited to showcase her paintings at a regional art fair, a significant opportunity that filled her with excitement. Maya expanded her environmental project into local schools, engaging children and families in sustainability efforts. She organized workshops and created educational materials to raise awareness about the importance of preserving the planet. Alva flourished in her artistic pursuits, creating whimsical stories and illustrations that brought joy to those around her. Her creativity knew no bounds, and John marveled at how much she had grown. One evening, as the family gathered around the dinner table, John took a moment to reflect on the past few months. "I just want to say how proud I am of each of you," he began, his voice filled with emotion. "Your strength and determination have inspired me more than you know. You've not only made me proud as a father, but have also made a positive impact on our community." Kendra, Maya, and Ava exchanged smiles, their hearts swelling with gratitude. "Thanks, Dad. You've always been our biggest supporter," Kendra replied, her voice filled with warmth. "Yeah, we couldn't have done it without you," Maya added, her enthusiasm evident. "I love you all so much," John said, tears of pride welling in his eyes. "Together, we've built something beautiful, and I'm grateful for every moment we share." As they finished their full circle, as the leaves began to turn shades of orange and gold, a sense of nostalgia filled the Harris household. The cooler air signaled the arrival of autumn, a time for reflection and gratitude. John found himself contemplating how much had changed since he adopted his daughters 2 decades ago. The journey had been filled with challenges and triumphs, but the love they had built together was what truly mattered. With his health gradually declining, John felt the urgency to impart his wisdom and love onto his daughters in deeper ways. He wanted them to know the importance of family, resilience, and community. He gathered them one evening around the fireplace, the warm glow illuminating their faces, each reflecting a mix of eagerness and concern. "Girls," he began, his voice steady yet tinged with emotion, "I want to talk to you about something important. As you know, my health hasn't been the best lately, and while I'm doing my best to stay strong, I want to ensure that you understand how much you mean to me." Kendra, sitting closest to him, took his hand. "Dad, we know you're fighting, and we're here for you. We've always got your back." "I know you do," he replied, smiling through the uncertainty that clouded his heart. "But it's not just about supporting each other in hard times. It's about carrying on the legacy of love we've built together. Each of you has your unique strengths, and I want you to embrace them fully." Maya nodded thoughtfully. "We've built something beautiful here, Dad. But what do you mean by a legacy?" "Your impact on the community and each other is part of it," John explained. "It's about sharing love, kindness, and encouragement. I've seen how you've taken your experiences and turned them into something positive for others. That's how we continue to make a difference, by inspiring one another." As the fire crackled, the warmth of their shared memories enveloped them. John reminisced about their early days as a family, the challenges they faced, and the love that kept them together. Each girl had brought something unique into his life, filling the void left by Sarah's passing and offering a new kind of joy. "Let's make a family project," Ava suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We can create something that represents us, something that shows our love for one another and our community." Kendra's face lit up. "That's a fantastic idea. We could do a mural that celebrates our journey and highlights the importance of community and family." "I love it," Maya chimed in. "We could involve other people in town, too. It could be a way to show that Oakbrook is a place of unity and strength. John felt a swell of pride. His daughters were already envisioning a project that would extend beyond just their family. They were thinking of the greater community. That sounds incredible. I'd love to help you plan it, he said, feeling invigorated by their enthusiasm. The following weeks were filled with brainstorming sessions and preparations for the mural project. The girls reached out to local artists and community leaders, sharing their vision of creating a mural that celebrated diversity, love, and resilience. With the help of the community, they secured a prominent wall in the center of Oakbrook, an ideal canvas to showcase their message. As they gathered materials and began sketching out their ideas, the project became a catalyst for deeper conversations. John watched in awe as his daughters not only designed a mural but also cultivated a sense of community spirit. They organized art workshops, inviting residents of all ages to contribute to the mural, fostering collaboration and connection. "Dad, this has brought everyone together," Kendra said one afternoon as they painted. "It's so much more than just a mural. It's a reminder that we're all in this together." John nodded, his heart swelling with pride. "You girls are doing something remarkable. This is what love looks like, coming together to create something meaningful." As the mural project progressed, John found himself energized by the community's participation. Residents of all ages showed up with paintbrushes in hand, ready to contribute their own stories to the mural. There were local musicians sharing their talents, food trucks offering delicious treats, and laughter that echoed through the streets. One Saturday, as they painted, a group of children approached John and his daughters, their faces painted with excitement. "Can we help?" one of the little girls asked, clutching a paintbrush. "Absolutely. We'd love for you to join us," Maya replied, motioning for them to come closer. "Just be careful not to spill any paint," John added with a chuckle. The children eagerly joined in, splashing bright colors onto the canvas, giggling as they created their own little masterpieces. John observed the pure joy on their faces and felt a deep sense of fulfillment. This was what family and community were all about, sharing experiences, learning, and growing together. As they painted the mural, the girls incorporated symbols that represented their journey. Kendra added a vibrant tree with strong roots, Maya painted waves representing the environment, and Amma illustrated butterflies to symbolize transformation. John felt tears prick at his eyes as he watched them pour their hearts into their work, each stroke of paint reflecting their love for one another and their town. As the mural neared completion, the excitement in Oakbrook was palpable. The girls organized a community unveiling event, inviting everyone to celebrate the finished mural. They envisioned a day filled with festivities, food, and joy, showcasing the collective effort of their community. On the day of the unveiling, the sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow over the town. Families gathered, and the air was filled with laughter and chatter. John stood with his daughters, filled with gratitude for the support they had received. "Are you ready for this?" Kendra asked, glancing at her dad. "More than ready," he replied, smiling. "I can't wait for everyone to see the beauty you've all created together." As the time for the unveiling approached, the girls gathered the community members together. Kendra stepped forward, her voice steady yet filled with excitement. "Thank you all for being here today to celebrate this special moment with us. This mural represents our journey as a family and as a community. Each brushstroke tells a story of resilience, love, and unity. We believe that when we come together, we can create something truly beautiful." The crowd erupted into applause as Maya and Ava pulled the cover off the mural, revealing the stunning artwork that captured their shared experiences. Gasps of admiration filled the air, and John's heart swelled with pride as he watched the joy on the faces of those who had come together to create something meaningful. In the following months, the mural became a beloved landmark in Oakbrook. It served as a reminder of the power of community and the importance of love, kindness, and resilience. John's health remained a concern, but he found strength in the love surrounding him. His daughters continued to excel, carrying the torch of their family's legacy and inspiring others to do the same. One day, as they sat together in the living room, John looked at his daughters, his heart overflowing with gratitude. "You've all done something amazing. You've taken what could have been a difficult journey and turned it into something beautiful." Kendra smiled softly. "We've always had each other, Dad. That's what matters most." Maya nodded, "And we'll keep carrying on your legacy of love and support." Ava chimed in, "We're a family and we'll always be there for one another." John's heart swelled with pride. He realized that the love he had poured into his daughters had come full circle. They were now spreading that love, creating ripples of kindness throughout their community. As winter approached, John's health began to decline more significantly. The girls rallied around him, ensuring he felt loved and supported. They took turns spending quality time with him, reminiscing about their journey as a family, sharing stories and laughing together. One evening, as they gathered around the fireplace, John shared his thoughts with them. "I want you to know that my love for you will never fade. You've filled my life with joy and purpose. No matter what happens, carry that love with you always." Tears filled their eyes, and Kendra squeezed his hand tightly. "We will, Dad. You've given us so much. We promise to honor your legacy." As they sat together, the warmth of the fire surrounded them, a reminder of the love that had brought them together. They knew that even in the face of uncertainty, they were a family forged by love, and nothing could ever take that away. In the following months, John's health continued to decline, but the love within the Harris household remained steadfast. They celebrated each moment together, cherishing the memories they had created as a family. The mural in town became a symbol of their journey, and John found comfort in knowing that their story would continue to inspire others. As the winter holidays approached, the girls decided to host a community celebration in honor of their father. They invited neighbors and friends, sharing stories of love, resilience, and the importance of family. The event was filled with laughter, music, and a sense of unity that John had always dreamed of fostering. "Dad, we want you to know how much you mean to us," Maya said, standing up to address the crowd. "You taught us the true meaning of love and family, and we want to share that with everyone here tonight." As the crowd erupted in applause, John felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Surrounded by family and friends, he knew that their love would carry on long after he was gone. In the months that followed, John's health began to deteriorate further. The girls,